What's happening, everybody? I'm back. Before we get started, please subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I appreciate you guys, All right. So trip on this. Today I was just, I was at the house, I told you guys before I hurt my shoulder, so I've been on disability for like a month and a half. So I was at home and I was just chilling, and I jump in the shower, and then my wife comes running in and she's like, "Honey, the DA investigator's at the front door." So I'm like, "Oh, damn." Everybody was telling me they were supposed to call me first and say like, "Hey, I'm going to be there in 2 days. I'll be there in 3 days," or whatever, And then, but man, this is the trippy thing. Yesterday, my wife's like, "Man, luckily he didn't come yesterday." Because yesterday, I had my buddy over. He was off work, so he was over. He was helping me fix my quads and stuff. And his son was doing yard work in my yard. And I pay him to do yard work, so he was doing yard work. But we're hanging out. We got music going. The garage door's open. We're drinking beer. We're hanging out, We were day drinking. My wife's on spring break right now. She's a teacher, but she's on spring break right now. So we were just big chilling, drinking, hanging out. And I was like, man, I gotta be careful, during this investigation thing. I gotta be careful, because what if he would have came yesterday? That would have been, man. But yeah, so I jump out the shower all crazy, and then I just throw some pants and a shirt on real quick, and I run out there, and it was all good. The investigator is really cool, everybody's been really cool through the process, really nice people, but like the investigator was telling me today, he's all like, he's telling me that I should be talking to kids and, and stuff like that, like you telling kids that, this isn't the right way and all this stuff. And, and it got me to thinking, like that's one of the reasons why I do the channel, I want to help kids out. I want to help people out, like me, I'm a carpenter and I'm a journeyman carpenter. So like, as the kids come in out of high school and they come into the carpenters, and I'm a journeyman, they're my apprentices, so like I bring them up, show them how to work, show them how to be a carpenter, and all that good stuff. And so I'm mentoring the kids. I try to teach them the right way, don't do drugs, don't, all that stuff, what I mean? Don't commit crimes. There's no need to, you got a job, there's no need to, but it was I don't know, like every time I'm just in that situation, like when I went to court, I was super nervous. Man, I was like, when I was getting dressed and getting out of the shower and I knew he was out there waiting for me, I was just like, oh my God, I was just so nervous. And then when I started talking to him, I was really nervous too, it's like, but I don't know why, It's weird because they have no information. Like I figured they asked me all these questions on the application, like, when did you parole? Have you ever, all the dates and stuff. And like all my stuff is 15 years ago, 14 years ago, it's like, it's so long ago. I don't remember those dates. I don't have those dates. I don't know, And they want you to know those dates and all that stuff. And I told them, I was like, I just figured you guys would know all this information, I figured you guys had the information, you guys are the government, like, and he's all like, "Oh no, we don't really have, they really don't know nothing, they don't know nothing." He didn't even know what date I paroled. And he had all this paperwork, all my stuff, and he's like, "So, did you parole in 2008, 2009? It's like, come on, you don't even know when I paroled? It's like, you're the district attorney investigator. But I don't know the dates either, I don't, So I didn't, and he said it was all right. He was, "Yeah, it's all right, and it's just, formalities or something, But the whole thing is, they wanted to know if I've had police contact, since then, and like, so they're asking me all these questions, like, so you haven't had no police contact since you got off parole and all this stuff. And I have, minor, tickets and stuff, but not even, me and my wife, like I told him, me and my wife, like, I think it was like 10 years ago, we got seatbelt tickets, me and her, both of us. I was driving, but neither one of us had our seatbelts on, and we both got the tickets, you know? So, stuff like that. And then when I was on parole, the last time I was on parole, they did a parolee sweep where I was living, all the parolees in the area, and they did a sweep. And I was sitting on the porch, and I told the investigator guy this. I'm not gonna lie, it's what I did, you know. I was smoking a joint on the porch, and I saw them all coming from both sides. Boom, this side of my house, on the sidewalks. And I was like, oh damn. So I didn't even try to I didn't try to run or anything, because they were up my driveway and everything so quick that I just stayed smoking the joint, you know. I just stayed smoking it. And it was funny because when they all walked up to me, asked me if I was who I am, I just kept smoking it, and they didn't. I was holding it. I took a hit, answered them, and then it took them a couple of minutes, you know. Like finally, after a couple of minutes, one guy just snatched it out of my hand, you know. But he wanted to know all the details right now. Like the investigator wanted to know all the details. Well, what'd you do? What happened with all that and all that? The thing was, you know, like I don't want to. I'm not trying to brag about nothing, but I was like a violent felon, you know. So when I was just smoking a joint, you know, like my parole officer, when he came to the police station, there was a bunch of us that got caught in the sweeps at different. I don't know none of these people. They were just different people on parole that got caught at the sweeps. So when I'm in the police station, there's about 7 or 8 of us in there, you know. My parole officer, he knows a couple guys, but then he comes and he knows me, and he comes up to me and he's like, hey, what'd they get you for? And I said, they did a parole sweep. I was smoking a joint on the porch, you know. And he said, that's it. And he's all, don't worry, I'll get you out. And remember, this is the first day I got arrested. So it was like, it was just the first day I'm out, you know. I was on parole and I got arrested. I was like, damn it. So he said he was going to get me out. Well, they took me to the county jail, and I was in the county jail for the evening. And then early in the morning, they came and picked me up and took me to Tehachapi prison. And I was really tripping. I was like, what the hell? I'm already back in prison. I was just on the streets yesterday, and now I'm back in prison already? You know, like, my parole officer was supposed to get me out. So it's kind of like a little delayed process. I had to stay in Tehachapi prison for a couple of days, a week or something. I don't really remember. But it wasn't long. But it was stressful. I was stressing. I was, you know. But my parole officer got me out, and they dropped the charges and stuff. So it showed on the paperwork when the investigator was at my house today about that incident. And he was like, well, you had police contact when you were on parole and this and that. And I explained it to him, you know. And it showed it on the paper that it got dismissed. You know, I didn't get charged with it. They didn't violate my parole, nothing. It was just police contact, you know. But I did get arrested, but they dropped the charges, you know. But so it's like a real, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how this is going to go, you know. He said he might come back later on today. Like, I just went to Jack in the Box right now. I'm hungry, so I got dressed after he left, and I went to Jack in the Box, went to the bank, went to Jack in the Box. But he said he might come back again today. And then me and my wife are doing it at the same time. She's trying to clear her record while I'm trying to clear my record. So we have a second investigator that's going to come within the next week or two, you know. But I don't know. It's pretty stressful, you know. But, I mean, I think it'll be worth it at the end, you know. The main thing is just don't break the law in the beginning, you know. Don't break the law. Don't do anything to get arrested in the beginning, because that would just avoid all this, you know. I'm going to be 50 soon. And it's like, and I'm trying to seal my record and do all this stupid stuff. I shouldn't even have a record. You know what I mean? Anyways, all right, everybody. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate all you guys, you know. Thank you very much. And I'll get at you guys later, let you know the update and all that stuff, what's happening. But all right, everybody. Thank you. Have a good day, and God bless you.